Welcome back to another video on this exciting 2015 holiday season. Now, before you just go out and throw a bunch of shirts out there and buy advertising, usually you have to have somewhat of a plan so it can be repeatable and you can have some success. So what this video is kind of 10 steps on how do you attack it, how do you approach it in a methodical fashion to get your desired result. So here's the 10 steps that we're going to be using today. First, pick your niche, do some research, get inspired, get creative, sort out all those details, create some sort of promotional strategy. Then we're going to have to promote the shirt or garment. Go out there and gather and get some advice, kind of learn and grow, do some experimentation. This is really testing, which it's all about. And then how do you set yourself up for future success out there? So the first one is pick your niche. And for me, this is huge. It's kind of the long journeys start with one footstep. Well, that's exactly what this is. So do you already have an affinity to a niche? Do you understand it in a way that others wouldn't? Maybe it's one of your hobbies. Maybe it's one of your interests. You already know their language. You're already an insider. Those are usually pretty good ones to start out with. It doesn't have to be that, but those are usually pretty good because you understand the angles a little bit different than an outsider would. So where are those people? What's their mindset? How do you join? How do you find those audiences? And here's some examples: farmers, teachers, hiking, nursing, motorcycles, racing. And you'll really notice that a number of those are occupations and a number of those are hobbies. So start thinking in that fashion on this step. Step 2 is you have to investigate the niche. This is the Sherlock Holmes part of it. So what are they passionate about? What's funny? Can you go out and find shirts that have already been sold in that niche? And when you look at some of the sales numbers, does that give you some understanding or meaning on the types of designs? So for example, maybe it's a rough and tumble male niche and they like certain types of jokes or shirts. Great, take notes, note that. Maybe it's grandma niche and they like kind of the crimson and clover and hearts and that sort of thing. Take a note. Do they wear this design on their chest? Are they proud? Or is this a back design for a certain reason? But these are all different things you need to be taking notes. And I just do it in a text file on my computer. And anytime I learn anything about any of my niches, I just make a note in there so I don't lose it. Step 3, get inspired. You have to go out into the universe, look at some other designs, get some ideas. For me, I really like using memes. And for me, a meme is kind of the freshest thing that's going on inside of that niche. When you look in Facebook groups or on Facebook pages, you can look at the number of likes and shares and comments that a meme gets. Well, a meme is really just a ready-made t-shirt slogan. That's really what it is. Yes, you need a design after that, but everything starts with the slogan. Does your audience like that or not? If yes, then you got a pretty good lead on a t-shirt, right? And then we're talking kind of about the holidays down here at the bottom. Can you mix any of those memes or any of those themes of shirts with current events? So we're going into the holidays. Can you make a Christmas shirt out of it? This is kind of the inspiration phase. The next is get creative, and your design has to be original. Now, there's a couple of different ways to do this. You can, if you're a designer, great. You can design it. You know it's yours. You know it's original. Or you can go out into the marketplace and hire a designer to execute a design for you. And there's different philosophies on this. For me, kind of just to have a number in your head, it costs about $30 to get a unique original design from a good designer. There's a number of people that try to go cheaper and they go to Fiverr and buy them for $5. You can guarantee that's been sold to 100 other people. So for me, I like to kind of take the higher path, the higher price point, and make sure that I am getting something unique and original. And Teespring has kind of a 101 guide on intellectual property. You can see the address there. And this is all something, if you're going to engage in this business and sell shirts, you need to understand, because like most things in life, it's a gray area, so you need an understanding of it, and you need to make sure that you're on kind of the correct side of things. Now, at the bottom here, I have a note for higher profit margin and a lower base price. You can create a design with one or two colors, and that's really a function of screen printing. And if you get a great designer, they can use halftones and grunge and all sorts of textures to mix it up and make it look like you're getting more than those one or two color designs. They can really spice it up. Now, if you're talking about DTG printing, then full color, let her rip, right? You can do anything you want with DTG. So just come from that perspective. And a lot of times when you're buying designs today, you have to think about tomorrow. Where are these going to go in the future? Are they going to be on other items, stickers, hats, different things like that, and that may affect how many colors you add into your designs. Next is sort out the details. So this is really kind of launching a campaign, for example, a t-shirt campaign, I should say. And the price, usually $20, $24 works pretty good for tees. Hoodies, $40, that's kind of the standard, and that's right where I price mine. I actually price mine at $22.99 for shirts and $39.99 for hoodies. Done. Colors and garment options. This is going to depend on your niche. Most of the time, if you look overall at t-shirt sales, it's going to be black and navy and royal and red. Those are kind of, the main four horses, right? Well, certain niches have certain colors that may or may not mean something to them. So I can just tell you the grandma niche, they buy a fair amount of purple garments, and if you're missing out on that, that's your fault. A number of female-only designs, you're going to want to have a pink or a heliconia option in there as well. Just sheer number of buyers, you have to be thinking that way. Now, when you launch that campaign, do we get wordy? Do we have a lot of information jam-packed in there? And from my testing over time, almost the less information the better, and really it's about having that buy button above the fold and smack dab right in their face. What sells a shirt is the design on the shirt. It's not going to be you rattling off 20 minutes of text, right? It's, do you like the shirt? Yes, no? If yes, here's the buy button. Simple as that. Step 6. Create a promotional strategy, right? So we can make the greatest shirt of all time, but if we don't show it to anyone, no one's going to buy it, right? So there's really two angles of this, and it's either organic or paid. Organic is definitely the tougher road. You also can't really tie back, your results exactly. It's a little bit hazier, but if you're going to go this route, you should commit to a specific number of posts. So for example, let's use a Facebook page, and you're going to make 5 posts out to your audience. You can, in a way, kind of track this, and if you use different variables at the ends of your URLs, you can have it post number 1, post number 2, post number 3, and you can watch some sales come in off of those, hopefully, right? And then determine which of your posts, maybe it had a different headline that was more engaging, a question mark, and you can slowly optimize over time by doing that. Just seeing what works. But paid advertising is really the way to light this thing on fire. And what you're doing is you're purchasing eyeballs, you're purchasing advertising space, and you're putting your unique design right in front of a carved out audience that's purpose built for that shirt. So for me, I run about $30 US worth of ad spend, and cut your losses. If you aren't profitable at that point, then you're going to have to scuttle it. But really, the name of the game is focusing on your winners and how do you scale those up? How do you push success? So as you sell more shirts, the base cost drops, right? So that's really what we need, more shirts sold, and then it becomes more profitable. So focus on winners, focus on success. Step 7, promote. This is being creative with your targeting. And a lot of people will just go out and find some really broad interest and launch an ad. They don't necessarily know any better. Me personally, I like to carve out my different interests into different buckets that make sense. And you see a number of them listed here. Organizations, magazines, large Facebook pages, websites, brands, etc. And as I find interest, I just put them and organize them into those buckets, into those ad sets. Well, you'll find out over time, this is an over time type of thing, testing, you will find certain interests just sell shirts and other ones do not. And you're really on kind of a hunt for those. You're looking and searching to find those winners. Another nugget I'll throw in there is what I call websites with commercial intent. So do they sell product in your niche on that website? If so, and if you can find them as an interest in the Facebook ad system, they are gold. And then another thing I like to do, and I do this randomly, is use promotions like free shipping. I don't do it all the time, but I'll do it like, say, once a month on an email blast or something like that. I don't do it very often when I'm purchasing advertising. I don't use promo links in my ads, but I will reward past buyers, good loyal buyers with something like free shipping. And I do it randomly as well, just to kind of mix it up. Step 8, seek some advice. This is a constantly learning, evolving type of business. What worked 6 months and a year ago do not work today. I can just tell you that. So you need to engage out there. For example, Teespring News, throw out a design for feedback. I don't necessarily like to push it out into the entire community, but you can easily find some people that are active and shoot them a private message or something like that with your design, and that you can get comments back on it. A lot of people like to show their future designs to maybe their Facebook page and have people vote on it. That's another angle. For me, though, the listen part is read your Facebook page messages, read the comments that are on your ads, and reply back to these folks. And I've got a number of great shirt ideas just from reading comments. They'll say something like, hey, I love this shirt, but I wish it said this. Well, guess what your next shirt is? Done, right? Your audience, if you engage with them, will feed you your next shirt design to launch. Step 9, experiment. This is testing, right? And like I just said, hey, it's changing, it's evolving constantly. So we have to be looking at new angles since this is a competitive marketplace. So for example, your ad has high engagement, likes, shares, and comments. Great, maybe that's a PPE ad. Well, maybe you need to tweak it and we need to go over to a website conversion ad or a clicks to website ad. You need to try out different forms of promotion and really take notes weekly on what's working and what's not. There's also plenty of Facebook groups out there where you can engage and ask, those similar questions. A lot of times too, I'll have a Facebook ad that works and I'll dive back into it and look and what did I do different? And sometimes I even made an error while making that ad and it gave me a gold nugget on something new to try. So you can change the creative, ad copy, targeting, the ad style, the ad platform. There's all sorts of levers to pull here in the experimentation phase. Step 10, set yourself up for future success. So this is all about farming over and over in that niche. And I just recommend to people stay in a niche, work in a niche over and over, and you will build assets. For example, buyers' emails, okay, website custom audiences. If you work over and over in a niche, these start growing and growing. So what do you do after a campaign finishes? You can send out a thank you to the buyers. You can send them your next shirt next week. These are different things that just set you up apart from your competition on a week-to-week basis. If you have any questions at all, here's some great additional resources. The Teespring News Facebook group, it's always buzzing. The Fabric community is kind of behind the scenes. There's some serious gold nuggets inside of there. And then there's plenty of other shirt selling communities on Facebook. That's it. Have a great holiday season and go out and sell some shirts. Thanks.